everybody. Hey, it's wonderful, wonderful to be here. Notre Dame, South Bend, Indiana, just reminding you where you're at. Hey, I don't know a whole lot about Notre Dame. Of course, I did hear about it, somewhat, in Italy and that, but mostly I just know, about the hunchback and that. And now I got to see the tower where he climbed and everything, Amazing. I don't know if any of you was in school when he did it, but it must have really been something. And then I understand that President Ronald Reagan is a graduate of Notre Dame. And he was a very, very famous football player and all of that here. And that's wonderful. He was one of the four hunchbacks. And isn't it amazing that one of those guys gets all the trouble, climbs the dome and all, and the other one goes on to be president of the United States. That's life in a nutshell, huh? It's amazing. Well, I don't know if you heard of my new theme song or not. Did you hear it? Bruce Springsteen is what's called Dancing in the Dark. If Bruce Springsteen was here, I would have him, stand up, take a bow. But he's not. He's not here. But if there's anybody named Bruce, if they want to stand up and take a bow, any Bruce, come on. There must be some guys named Bruce. Come on, don't be shy. Bruce, stand up, take a bow. Let's hear it for him. All right. There's one. There's another one. There's another one. I used to have a theme song was called Zippity Doo Dah. And I love Zippity Doo Dah, but this company, Walt Disney Company, I named them by name. They says, I can't use it no more. They says, I am not their image. Goofy is their image. Dumbo is another one of their image. Donald Duck and his three illegitimate nephews. Where's their mother? That's what I want to know. Where's their mother? I think those are his kids. I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but I want to know the details of that affair. Anyway, I like Dancing in the Dark. It's kind of like a Zippity Doo Dah, because it's an up song. It's real positive and that kind of stuff. Some people got theme songs that are real downers. Like, for instance, Abraham Lincoln. His theme song was called Battle Hymn of the Republic. No wonder why the man was so depressed all the time. Who wouldn't be depressed? You come out and they go, dum, da, dum, da, dum, da, dum. But Zippity Doo Dah, it's a real up in that. And I loved it because it was a very old song. A lot of people don't know that. But it's one of the oldest songs known to mankind. The oldest song known to mankind, it's Gregorian chants. Then comes Zippity Doo Dah. Then Battle Hymn of the Republic. Then Heartbreak Hotel. That's the chronology of modern music. You're taking notes. Get it straight. And Doo Dah, Zippity Doo Dah, originally was the national anthem of the country of Doo Dah. And so many American people don't even know where Doo Dah is. Have you heard of it? It's in Europe, Doo Dah. It's way up in the mountains. It's like 300 yards up there. You got to take a donkey to get there. And it's named after Saint Doo Dah. And this fellow, Saint Doo Dah, he became a saint because he lived in a tree trunk for 50 years. That's what you got to do to become a saint sometimes, 50 years. And the deal is, what happened, he said to his mother, he was 20 years old, and his mother was, saying, like, get a job, really picking on him. And she says to him, what are you going to do with your life? And he said, I don't know. And that's his famous quote. In fact, downtown Doo Dah, they got this beautiful, the main piazza, there's a beautiful statue. It's like a marble tree trunk. It's got this head sticking up. Underneath it says, I don't know. What happened? 20 years old, He said to his mother, he says, Mom, I know what I want to do. I'm going to go to the woods to meditate, to think about what I want to do with my life, what I want to become. He went to the woods. He sat in a tree trunk. He stayed there for 50 years. And you think, well, why sainthood? You know, what's the miracle in that? The miracle is you think the man would starve to death. You know, you can't grow corn sitting in a tree trunk. He just sat. What happened was animals would feed him. Birds would drop him breadcrumbs and little pieces of veal. Squirrels would bring him artichokes. You know, go, Duda, carciofalo, prego, prego, you know. And he would take, every once in a while, you know, would take a little piece, a little bite, because he didn't need, you know, much food, because he didn't exercise, nothing like that. 50 years he sat in that tree trunk. And 50 years to the date, from when he left his house, all the people from the city of Duda come out there with candles for like this Virgil. I know why you're laughing, man. You know, I know. I said the city of Duda, right? The country of Duda. See what it is? The country of Duda has 3 cities, and the main city also is called Duda. So like New York, New York. Duda, Duda is the whole name. I don't know what the zip is. Anyway, was there 50 years, and the man, he stands straight up, right? Saint Duda. He hasn't stood at 50 years. Puts back his shoulders, and he belts out the song, Zippity Duda. And the people were so moved, they become what's known as the Duda people. And these people are so laid back. They don't walk, they don't run. They skip everywhere they go. In fact, downtown Duda, they got the crosswalks, you know. It says, skip, don't skip. I know a lot about it because I went to summer school there one summer. Duda U is the name of the school. Was it easy? I got an A, I didn't even buy a book. I know this one professor asked me some question. I forget what it was, but I know I said to him, boy, I'm very sorry. I have no idea what the answer is. He says to me, I see your point. I buy that. Pretty soon everybody starts cheating off me. Well, I wish I could use it, but I can't anymore. That's the way it goes. But, you know, Dancing in the Dark is a wonderful song. I like most songs, though. One song in particular that I hate. I used to love this song, now I hate it. 100 Bottles of Beer on the Wall. Do you know it? You know this song? I just heard it, was about 5 years ago. I heard it for the first time. I thought, this is a lot of fun. You know, this is a great song. I started, you know, parties and that, you know, try to get it going and that. And then I remember this guy come over and says, you know, it's not too cool to do this 100 bottles of beer on the wall. He says, you know, that's a song. It's made for buses. Excuse me, please, you know. Buses. I tried doing it once on a city bus. Was in New York, you know, and these people give me these looks. Another song I hate, Happy Birthday to You. You know this song? I always thought, who was the brilliant person who wrote the lyrics to Happy Birthday to You? Maybe the same guy wrote 100 bottles of beer on the wall. And you know, Happy Birthday to You, you think it's a short song until it's your birthday. Then it seems to last forever. And you don't know where to look. You know, you just sit there, you know. Is it anybody's birthday? It is yours. What's your name? Lori. Well, Lori, we're not going to embarrass you, you know, and sing it to you, but you know how it goes, right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lori. Happy birthday to you. words. I know them all. I went to heaven. And the first thing, there's this angel fellow. He didn't have no wings, but I just took it. He must be an angel. He meets me there, you know. And the first thing, he gives me this box. And inside of the box, there's like 3 umbrellas. There's a couple wallets, loose change, a couple gloves in there. And I think, what's this, you know? He says, now that you've lost your life, you get to have back everything that you lost during your life. It's like a lost and found box, is what it is. And it's great, you know, this gives you like a start in heaven. You think people that are so together never lose anything, you know, they're so great. It's like they're really at a disadvantage. When the game's all over, you know, they got a box full of nothing. But I had all of this stuff, you know. And then I'm waiting. I said, well, you know, I'm ready in that. You know, I thought I'm going to be judged, you know, judgment time. And he like smiles, and I know right away, he didn't say nothing. I knew what he meant, you know. And it was like, who do you think you are? You know, you're going to go see God. You know, and when you think about it, God, you know, he's so busy. He's got, you know, so much business all over the universe to take care of. God's got like the whole world in his hand. Like the song says, he's got billions and billions of planets. Like Carl Sagan says, you know, he's in charge of the whole ball of wax. So it's pretty busy. And what this guy said to me, says, you get to see God, but you got to wait 8.5 years for your appointment. 8.5 years. And he says, and you're in a group. There's 10,000 people in my group. And the appointment's like 8 in the morning. You know, I think, God, I hope I don't oversleep for that one. You know, better set 2 alarm clocks. Just my luck, you know, overslept. Oh, no. But the great thing is, you get to stay in heaven till your appointment comes up. And heaven, it was great. I was so impressed. Everything was so big. That was the most amazing thing. They had trees there. I look up, you could not see the tops. It made like redwoods look like toothpicks. Gigantic trees. And I walked down this pathway, and there was like a vineyard. They had grapes the size of oranges. And they had oranges the size of like watermelons. They had watermelons like Volkswagens. Everything just gigantic. Then this beautiful girl comes up to me. And she had this hair. The hair was like, went down to the ground, then went up into the air. You had to be there, I think, to, you know, really appreciate this, but it was, you know, impressed me, I tell you, you know. And she says to me, my name is Rhonda, and I'm here to help you. I said, all right. You know. She says, you hungry? And I was hungry. I said, yes, you know, when I got there, give me this donut to eat. Big donut, what's it? Looked like a donut from a Firestone, you know? I don't like donuts too much, I passed on that, but I was hungry now. She says, come with me and take a nice place. We went to this place. Was like grass, rolling green grass, like on top of clouds. As far as you could see was this beautiful green on top of clouds. And they had waiters. These waiters was like wearing tuxedos, and they were sitting on top of zebras. You could hardly tell where the waiter stopped and zebra began. Was like a zebra man, you know. And they was there with the trays and that, and around them, and we sat down underneath this tree, and waiter trotted over, He says, what would you like to hear this morning? And Rana, she says, I think swallows would be nice. And like these 24 giant swallows come flying into the tree and started singing to us and that. And then he says, what would you like to eat this morning? And I said to him, boy, I'm hungry. I think I have some orange juice, have an egg. I didn't want to get 2 eggs, because, that's why this giant, one, more than enough, thanks anyway. Says, I think I have some bacon. Usually I don't eat bacon, because of the nitrates and that kind of stuff. But I figure I'm dead. Might as well live it up, why not? Double bacon, please, double bacon. And the cappuccino. This guy looks at his watch, he says, boy, I'm very sorry, but it's after 11. I says, what? He says, well, there's no breakfast in heaven after 11. Then I think of the prayer, it is on earth as it is in heaven. No breakfast after 11 here, no breakfast after 11 there. There is no justice, no place. Well, what I was going to do for now was sing the song entitled No Breakfast in Heaven After 11. But my mandolin is lost somewhere. I'll get it back eventually, I guess. It'll be in that box. That'll be nice to have a mandolin in heaven. I'm going to start losing a lot of stuff from now on. Like maybe I could buy a Camaro and have it stolen. That would be out of sight, huh? Well, what I could do though, instead I thought maybe I could take some questions. If you want to ask me some questions, you needed some advice and counsel, I'm your man. Excuse me?
What's your favorite sin?
What's my favorite sin? Where are you from, man? My favorite sin, I don't know. Original sin. That means you thought it up yourself, Do I like wearing black? Not especially. Not especially, but the Pope, is like the only correct person that gets to wear white. Problem with black is that, especially like in Rome, it's so hot in the summertime. Black absorbs the heat. And if you're around the Pope, he's wearing white, so he's reflecting. It's like a double hot. It's the worst. He got off of the helicopter, his neck was flapping in the wind. Every once in a while you could see his tie. But there it is. Oh, there it is again. There it is. Man must have to do a headstand to tie his tie. He didn't give no speech, was right off the helicopter, on the carpet into the White House. But I've seen some great speeches by the man. He is a truly great actor, no doubt about it. Here's a favorite speech of mine. He gave the speech before the Joint Houses of Congress. And what it was about was the Central American threat. And he made it to sound like Central America was going to attack you tomorrow. It was so heavy. And the best part, he looked straight at the camera and he says, ladies and gentlemen, Central America is closer to Texas than Texas is to the state of Maine. I'm shaking in my boots. It's like, hey, let's get out the globe and check it ourselves, so you get the globe, you go, Central America, Texas, Maine. God damn, it is close, You know, look at that, it is closer. Whole idea of a speech was your neighbors are just too darn close to you. You know? So, what I was thinking, if I was Ronald Reagan, I wouldn't be so upset with Central America. I would be afraid of Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, I look it up myself. Canada is closer to the United States than South Bend is to Mishawaka. Look it up yourself. This country is 3,000 miles long. It's just looming over you. Could come down any time, attack you. I know what everybody says. Everybody says the same thing. Canada's your friend. You've been friends for 200 years or so. What I say is, don't push your luck. Who knew 10 years ago would be trouble in Central America? 10 years from now could be Canada. So, if I was Reagan, I'd nuke him. I'd do it, you know. One bomb on Toronto. I read this fact once. Maybe you heard of this. It says you could take all the Chinese people, line them up four abreast, march them into the sea, and they would never stop. Have you heard of this? They would never stop. I mean, that means, I think, because there's so many of them, I guess they would be multiplying in line. They would be going into the sea. They probably would have on their bathing suits, you know, so it's kind of erratic in that, you know. Four abreast, they would never stop. I never understood it, too, what it means, four abreast. That sounds like it should be two people facing another two people. You march like that, you go no place. Like Three Stooges or something, you know, just bump into one another. I know what they mean, though, four abreast. What it means is like a four crossed. They would never stop. Anyway, Canada, on another hand, Canada has entire population, 180,000 people. Don't quote me on this exactly, but 180, 109, I know it's not more than 200,000 people. Anyway, you could line up with the Canadian people, march them into Lake Erie. Would take like an afternoon. You could have lunch, march them into the lake, be home for dinner. I say, let's start. You know, what's holding things up here? Get the ball rolling. The 80s really suck. You know, you gotta, really they do. You know, these are such terrible times, and I really feel everything's gonna be cool once the 1990s get here. You know, the 1990s are gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun for everybody. And especially what's gonna be great, 1992. You know what is 1992? It's the 500th anniversary of the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus, Italian. Right. Figure up yourself. 1492, 1992. I'll give you a couple minutes. Take my word for it. 500 years. And what they're going to call it is the Columbus Cinquecentennial. They said it's going to be bigger than the bicentennial. Everybody's going to be dressing up like Christopher Columbus and having those furry hats, everything. Already, Ronald Reagan made Lee Iacocca the chairman of the Columbus Cinquecentennial. And Iacocca says, in 1992, Chrysler is going to come out with new cars. the Nina, Pinta, and the Santa Maria. I think it says Dean Martin's going to be spokesman for the Nina, Frank Sinatra for the Pinta, and the Santa Maria is going to either be Dama DeLuise or Sylvester Stallone. Just depends. If it's a little, beep beep car, then it's going to be DeLuise. If it's like, macho turbo and that, then, it's going to be Sylvester Stallone and myself. Hey, I want to turn you on to something while I think about it. At the Vatican, we've got L'Osservatore Romano, my newspaper, it's widely read, by the 900 people that live in the Vatican. But it's not a great circulation, 900. We do sell some in Rome, but we've been thinking of getting into publications, that have a broader scope in that. We thought of buying this magazine, maybe you heard of it, I'm sure you have, National Enquirer. What a great newspaper that is, huh? We tried to buy it. You won't believe what kind of money they want for that. Millions, I think, millions of dollars. So, make a long story short, we decided to do our own, called the Vatican Enquirer. And it's got a lot of great stuff, and I'll go over some of the things to give you a little taste of what's in here. It's just great. One thing in here we have, the Enquirer has something, all the time they have it called married look-alikes. You know what it is? It's people that look alike and are married. What a brilliant concept. I don't know whoever thought of this. But anyway, nowadays, 1 out of every 4 couples in America getting divorced. So what we're doing here, we have something called divorced lookalikes. Because, even though you get divorced, you cannot stop looking like. You could stop living together, but you can't stop looking like. So we bought the married lookalike pictures from the Enquirer. We're going to run 1 out of every 4 of them. Hope we picked the right ones, just keep your fingers crossed on that one. Now the great article in here, it's entitled, How to Build an Emergency Umbrella Using Just a Stick, a Hula Hoop, and a Plastic Garbage Bag. Say you're stuck in a rainstorm, and you don't have an umbrella with you, but you do have, hula hoop, a stick, and a garbage bag. This is the article for you. Won't want to miss it. Another great article here. It's all about the missing commandments. The missing commandments. You probably studied the Bible and that, and you know the story, the true story about the 10 Commandments. What happened was Moses, he went to the mountain, he got these 2 tablets with commandments on them. He came down to his town or whatever, and he found these people there, they was worshiping a cow, something like that. And he was so mad, he threw down the tablets and broke them. Then what he did was, he tried to remember them, make them up again. And Moses, was old man. He was in his 90s. He was grumpy. He had a chip on his shoulder because of the cow incident. And all he remembered was the negative ones. Don't do this, don't do that. Thou shalt not this, thou shalt not that. But a lot of the commandments he forgot were more like advice. They were nice things, like for instance, the 11th commandment. Wait a half hour after eating before you go swimming. You probably thought this was just something your mother told you. It was a commandment. Another one, whistle while you work. Whistle while you work. You probably thought that was Disney. He stole it from God. He stole it. It was a God. Another commandment, great one, very, very important. It says, when you use Q-tips, just go around the outside of the ear. Don't poke, don't go into the canal with the Q-tip. This was very important, especially in biblical times. Because way back there, you know what? They used to use a rock, like quartz rock, and they used to put like a sponge at the end. And a lot of people, you know, they go poking, they end up with sponge in their ear. They couldn't get out. It's another commandment. Don't look at your neighbor's wife through a telescope. That's one that I must admit I have been breaking. But from now on, you know, might use binoculars, but doesn't say don't use binoculars. Here's one great one. It says, it's okay to eat chicken with your fingers. That shows you God is a regular guy, you know? So like, go ahead, what's he care? Do something for you before I go. It's a song, and I'm going to do it a cappella. That means with my hat on. And it's a medley of Beatle tunes. Medley of Beatle tunes, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy doing it to you. Medley of Beatle tunes. We don't want a revolution, no. We all want to change the world. But if you go talking about destruction, don't you know that you can count me in the town where I was born? Live a man who sailed the sea, and he tells me, hey Judah, do you want to know a secret? Oh, do you promise not to tell? Eleanor Rigby used to be mad at my school. The teachers that taught me weren't Desmond, Vera, Chuck, and I am you, and you are me, and we are all together in a yellow submarine. Well, I just had to laugh. I saw Lucy in the sky with Michelle Marbell, alone on the hill, picking the rice from the church where the wedding has been a hard day's night. Suddenly, I want to hold your help. I want to hold your, I need somebody. I want to hold your hand.